departure of their former head coach, and now just trying to get this team playing and moving in the right direction.
And he's doing a great job with that. Changing the culture is never easy, and he has been with this staff for a long time, and the guys are responding to him.
Pirates come in at 9-13, 3-8 in the conference. Temple 13-10, 5-6 overall right now in the American. Good offensive rebound by Kentrell Barkley, and the Pirates have another crack at it here. Fleming. Barkley runs into a roadblock. Tyson for three. And the ball is out of bounds off of Temple, and ECU with 6 seconds on the shot clock.
ECU has played in some nail biters their last couple games. I saw them in that Tulane overtime game last week, and they just came off one against Memphis.
I was going to say, you started off their overtime run right there,
yeah,
right?
I think so. But everything's been close all season.
Taking a look at the shot clock, it should be reset. That's the thing. It was down at 6. I think that ball did hit the rim over there by Tyson. Let's look at it again. Yeah, but grazed the rim, so they reset the shot clock. Barkley got it stripped, got it back. And finally, Quentin Rose comes down with it for Temple. Leading scorer for the Owls, right to the hole for the 2.
He's one of the reasons they're scoring 80 points a game the last 3. I mean, he is so diverse with what he can do. And I think tonight's going to be a lot about pace, Mike.
Missed 3, offensive rebound here again. Spasojevic, and now ECU gets the deuce to tie it up.
And I think that's always a key for ECU. They can get some extra possessions and opportunities by battling on the glass. That'll bode well for them against the high-octane offense.
There's Dimitri Spasojevic, the freshman forward from Serbia. Alston for 3 for Temple. Count it. Shiz Alston, 5-2 Owls.
And that's a terrific screen by a Flackby, using his body, and then you've got to go over top of the screen against him, because he will nail shots all day from back there.
There's Sean Williams now. Boy, he's really emerged lately, huh?
He's got to get some touches and looks from the perimeter, and not a good three-point shooting team. Typically, ECU, they're at the bottom in NCAA three-point attempts, but he has helped increase that percentage a bit by getting hot the last few games.
Missed jumper by Rose. Fleming the other way. Kicks it out. Tyson for 3. Well, you talked about it, and that went off the back iron. Good battle for it here as Temple on the deck with Perry, and gets it up for Josh Brown. And now Rose thought about the 3, instead kicks it to Alston. And he misses. Rebound Fleming.
And Rose had that. I think he should have taken it. But if this game stays in the half court, I think that will definitely help ECU. They don't want Temple to get out and run. We talked to Coach Perry about that. So they're going to try to keep this slower tempo.
Missed jumper by Sean Williams. Rebound for Temple, and here comes Josh Brown again. Brown kicks it. Alston. Tough fadeaway at the foul line. He drains it. What a shot.
And he's coming off such a hot game against Tulane with 10 assists, 15 points. Just such a complete player. And he's just been so impressive all around.
A lot of weapons right now for the Temple Owls. Hard to guard them.
You basically have to pick your poison. They've got several guys that can average double figures.
Barkley up top, Fleming. And he misses the 3, and finally it's tracked down again by Brown. No one went after it for ECU. Josh Brown a little out of control, and a blocking foul is called, and he'll get 2.
ECU wants to make sure they're attacking, and then they're not settling for just perimeter shots. That's not their forte, and they don't want to get caught in that trap, because that leads to a Temple possession here. A nice job here by Alston. Step back, pull up jumper, just creating that space for himself.
B.J. Tyson was called for the foul, his first for ECU, as Josh Brown, senior at the line for the Owls, and they're off to the good start here, 8-2. Just under 4 minutes gone by in this first half.
Josh Brown's been impressive this season. They're calling him Captain Clutch because he's come up big with some shots, some daggers to win ball games this year. A guy you really want at the foul line. Just controlling their tempo.
Temple comes off the win at Tulane on Super Bowl Sunday, 83-76. Trying to build on that performance and trying to make it 4 wins in a row. They're on a 7-0 run right now after we were tied at 2. Into the block, and a foul is called as spinning underneath that time was Spasojevic. Perry picks up the ticket, and we have our first timeout of the night. We'll be back. 9-2, Owls in front.
Guy.
Too. Coach K and Roy Williams, it's just the best game to watch. You gotta believe I'll be watching.
Series is split in the past 100 meetings. That's crazy. Duke's actually won 6 of the last 8. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. Tough shooting performance here to start for ECU. 7 possessions, 9 shots, 0 for 7 from 3 and 1 for 2 from the field.
Yeah, they want to make sure that they are attacking. When I've seen them play well, it's when they're in attack mode and they're not just shooting from the outside. They've got a couple guys that can make them from the perimeter, but only Williams should be taking those, and and maybe Isaac Fleming. The 2 of them, I'm okay with.
Fleming's pass out to the corner was deflected. They only have 2 seconds on the shot clock here for ECU. Williams. Rebound Rose. A flat pick.
And just in a second, you see Temple's able to run the floor. They've got a bunch of personnel that can just get up the floor in a hurry. So transition defense is going to be pivotal. And with that, you've got a rebound.
First 2 of the night for Ernest Aflakpi, and the run continues. 9-0 run right now by the Temple Owls. Fleming. Good look inside, and getting the runner that time was Kentrell Barkley, and they needed that.
And they need Barkley to be getting a lot of touches because he's their go-to guy, does everything.
Best all-around player for ECU, Barkley, and now it's Josh Brown working in the middle of the lane, and nice touch from Brown. Fleming is fouled. Brown on the block, his first.
And Josh Brown is just such a smooth player. He really runs the show for them at the point. Just a great job staying low to the ground here. He has a smaller guy in Williams on him, and he's got the ability to kind of post up if he can. That was more of a face-up dribble, but such a good player. And he doesn't turn the ball over much.
No. Temple able to get a steal here. Nice play as Rose gets it up again to Brown, who you were talking about. Right on cue.
Immediate transition, and you know what? He doesn't have to take the ball up, and that's what makes this team so full of weapons. They've got other players who can take the point, and he can just go.
Taking on the 3, Barkley. Tough shot, and he got fouled. Kentrell Barkley with a pair come in. The foul goes against Perry. That's going to be Devontre Perry's second.
And if you're having trouble getting good shots, that's the best thing to do. Get to the free throw line. Manufacture some points. Kentrell Barkley doing a nice job doing that, although the team in general has not shot well from the line this season.
Julian, Fran Dunphy's bench a little bit thinner here tonight. Perry, who just picked up his second personal foul, has to go out. He was in the starting lineup in place of Obi Anechionia, who actually has the flu and flu-like symptoms right now, so not going to probably see action tonight.
And that's a big loss for them. He's a game changer, and he's super long and hard to guard, so they're a little smaller without Obi in the game tonight. So got to play a little bit smaller.
So Perry is out with the 2 personals. We'll see if he does come back in this first half. Only 6 minutes gone by. Nate Pierre-Louis has checked in, though, who's made a huge impact for Temple, and he has the ball in his hands right now. And you can see why.
This is where they play a little smaller. I like this lineup. They're going to go a little harder, a little faster. They can run even better, and Pierre-Louis has been the big surprise of the season. I mean, he's impacting the game for a freshman in a huge way.
Came off the bench last game, team high 18 points in that win at Tulane on Sunday. And a three-pointer going down for Barkley.
And when Kentrell Barkley is playing well, the team plays well. So if he can really get going and pad his stats, the rest follow.
First three-pointer of the night for ECU, and a foul here on the Pirates.
Foul number 55, Sean Williams.
First on Sean Williams.
And you see here, as soon as he gets in the ball game, Pierre-Louis with the drive, and then at the other end, you get a little ball movement, kick out, and Barkley nails the three. Good passing that time.
Well, that was the key. That's what you said right there. You got to get the ball movement. Contested threes not going to work well for ECU, especially like you said with them struggling from the outside.
Absolutely. And you talked to Mike Perry about that, and he says it all day long. I mean, when we pass the ball, we're good. I mean, I think any coach is going to tell you that, but you're going to get that shot that you're looking for if you're moving it.
Temple has had points on their last 7 trips on the offensive end, so playing very effective here on top by 10.
ECU needs to get some stops. Bottom line.
Tyson, a step inside three-point land, and he drains it. That's B.J. Tyson, the leading scorer for ECU.
And it's good to see him get going because he's a star. He can score in a hurry.
Foul once again, and that's going to be Sean Williams' second, so that's a huge factor now for ECU. Let's see if he goes to the bench, and he will. K.J. Davis is checked in, so you had Perry go out with the 2 fouls for Temple, and now Williams, who has really been emerging and shooting lights out lately, has to take a seat.
And B.J. Tyson starting to heat up, getting on the board, and he's matured quite a bit this year from a mental standpoint for this group.
Alston, nice feed inside. Getting the block, though, and getting it right back is Damian Moore. After Mormon got it blocked, and Moore cleans it up.
One of the many things I love about Temple is they've got a bunch of playmaking guards that can really make stuff happen.
Here's Tyson. Going to be a foul on the rebound. Spazajevich is going to be called for it on the clear out. The freshman picks up his first.
That's his first.
I didn't see much contact with that one. He was just out of position, and they anticipated the call, but he really didn't touch anyone.
Agree with you on that. I thought they could have been able to let that one go. Spazajevich takes a seat on the bench, as well as Barkley. Give him a rest here to try to buy a few more seconds, as we'll have a timeout coming under 12 minutes. Alston. Puts up a 3. And Fleming the rebound. First trip in a long time. The Temples come up empty on the offensive end. Good extra pass here to the corner, and a 3-pointer goes down for ECU's Aaron Jackson.
That's a nice job in transition. You get the ball running a little bit, and you get that open 3. That's the best time to make it. The defense is scrambling, and he nails it. Now, one thing that ECU does not have this year is that big guy in the middle, so they're more guard-oriented. They used to have Andre Washington, who they relied on a lot in the paint last year, if you remember.
Well, and ECU will certainly take those points there from Jackson, as he is fouled now. He only hit 2 3-pointers prior to tonight, and now draws contact on Shiz Alston. And that's his first. We got
Might be hard to get out of here.
Yeah, we got to go right after this. 2 million people plus in attendance here as this begins on Broad Street, and the Eagles celebrate their first Super Bowl championship. 21-14, Temple leads by 7 here tonight, trying to pick up their 4th win in a row.
And ECU started 1 of 9, but they're 4 of 6 since then. Temple's offense has just been extremely efficient, and there's been no stops on the other end for ECU.
Nice pull up there by Tyson, and we're down to a 5-point ball game here. They started 1 for 9 from the field, ECU, and they've gone 5 of 7 since. Rose for three, a little bit long. Pierre-Louis almost had the rebound, and instead it's pulled home by Jackson. Fleming on the spin. How about the way ECU is playing now here on the offensive end?
And that's a tremendous drive by Fleming. Fleming's somebody that can actually get a triple-double. He had the first one against Memphis on Saturday. 11 points, 10 boards, 11 assists. It just shows that completeness. And they're switching here into this 2-3 zone, which we've seen them play a lot of. And they're very adept at this zone, which I saw them last week do this against Tulane. The second half, they switched into a zone, and Tulane had a really hard time making shots.
So far, so good here as ECU is on a 7-0 run, but it's a traveling violation on Fleming.
Violation.
And Isaac Fleming here with a little hesitation move. A difficult shot over two Temple defenders. But he finishes.
Just a second ECU turnover so far in this first half, halfway through the first frame. Temple led by 10. It's down to 3. Moore kicks it back. Good extra pass. Pierre-Louis in the corner. In and out again on the 3. Rose the rebound. He's blocked and fouled.
That's the only thing you worry about with a zone is rebounding. You don't have a specific man to box out, so offensive boards can be easier established than grabbed here. And you see that was an easy one for Quentin Rose. Nobody was boxing him out.
KJ Davis was called for the foul. Quentin Rose hit some timely shots in the last game versus Tulane. His length and his athleticism, it's tough to guard.
Really tough to guard. He loves to take it off the bounce. He's one of the quickest guys. And he's with NBA scouts looking at him. He's just a sophomore, but you can see why. He's just long, athletic, and the game looks effortless for him.
How about the player that Fran Dunphy says that he's still going to try to get some more time down the road is Justin Hamilton, a freshman for them that he also thinks has NBA potential.
Yeah, highly touted. He just hasn't gotten enough minutes this year, but he said that he's a star in the making, and we'll be excited to watch him in the future here.
Fleming had a couple of cracks at it. Instead, Mormon got the rebound. And now Alston cross court to Pierre-Louis, wide open for 3.
Great skip pass. And that's the way to really move the ball to the other side of the floor. Your defense is swiveling, not able to get there quick enough.
Got some dangerous outside shooters on the floor for Temple, and excellent ball movement, as you said, made that happen. Now a tough shot here by Justin Watley. And as Temple continue to run, missed 3 there. It was by Mormon. Off balance runner counted for Davis.
That was a tough shot. The degree of difficulty of that shot is pretty high.
Alston directing traffic for Temple, and an alley-oop try down low. Moore. A little advised there. Here's Jackson. Blocks on the play by Pierre-Louis. Their offensive rebound not there, and finally picked up by Mormon. It's a 4-on-3 for Temple. Rose, another good extra pass. And Pierre-Louis follows his own shot. And they're going to say that it's out of bounds off of ECU when they were tying up. Pierre-Louis was on the baseline out of bounds, so it stays with Temple.
But Pierre-Louis is finding his sweet spot in that corner. He had just previously gotten a 3 in the right-hand corner and then wide open in the left-hand corner, so that could be an open spot for them to continue to rotate guards. And ECU here in transition, a nice job finishing a very difficult shot.
Rose! Oh, the alley-oop off the inbound. Got to know where that guy is at all times, right?
Sometimes all you got to do is throw it up high. And he's somebody with the kind of athleticism and ups, so he can just grab it from anywhere.
8-point Temple advantage. Under 8 minutes to go, first half. Tyson working on Rose, not happy with a foul call, and he picks up his first. We'll be right back. 7:38 to play in the first frame. The Owls on top by 8 here at home against ECU.
It up, and that's why this game has gotten a lot closer. And you've got to give credit to Mike Perry. I've seen him go into this zone, and teams have just struggled in that department at times. But very even on the rebounding front here, numbers-wise. Pretty clean basketball. Neither team turning the ball over.
50% shooting so far for the Owls in this first half, just 34.8% for ECU. But as you said, picking it up a little bit after a very slow start. And now Barkley, guarded by Rose. Williams is back in with 2 personal fouls, and he is fouled by Alston. And that's going to be Shiz Alston's second.
But Williams has been the person that has been heating it up so much lately. And you notice he's pretty draped. Alston's all over him now. It's a nice little fake, which Williams will need in his repertoire because he's a shooter and known for that. He's a floor spacer, so he's going to have players on him. So he's going to have to be able to take it off the bounce. But just having him on the floor is a big weapon for ECU.
Yeah, good job there to try to create some contact. So in comes Josh Brown. The Temple Owls, as Williams has another redshirt freshman out of Little Rock, Arkansas. And we're down to a 6-point ball game now in favor of Temple. Team trying to get to the 500 mark in the American, and ball knocked away and out of bounds off of Barkley. Good effort, though, by ECU.
And that's what Kentrell Barkley does. He's one of those players that Mike Perry calls a junkyard dog. He just does everything. He's a hustler. He's going to put up tons of rebounds and just do the little things.
Pierre Louis had a moment there where he thought about the 3. Instead, now it's Rose. Puts up the jumper, no good. Barkley had a hand on it. Tipping it around. Fight for it. Temple comes up with it. Pierre Louis, another 3-point try. That one's good.
I see those are the little moments where that extra 50-50 ball makes a big difference. And a Flackby, just the bigger guy, comes down with it.
Huge swing right there to go up 9 now as Barkley is called for an offensive foul. Pushing off with a forearm, and that's his first.
And you look at this hustle here. Barkley has given up several inches here on a Flackby, and just that 50-50 ball is what creates this Pierre Louis 3 an opportunity. Just all about the hustle and effort.
Watley was there, but kind of at arm's length. He needs to get out there and close out a little bit quicker as Brown scores it for the Owls.
Especially the fact that all of these Temple Owls can shoot. I mean, you've got to have a hand in your face on the catch. Pierre Louis has brought so much energy.
Fleming right back the other way for ECU. As Temple had just tied their largest lead of the first half at 11. It's back down now to 9. Kind of like the way the Temple's sharing the ball here in the offensive end today.
They're moving it, and that's why they're getting so many different guys with looks.
Brown, he's a shooter as well. That's off, though. And Sean Williams.
And you think about this Temple lineup, this is a 4-guard lineup.
Right.
And then a Flackby is 6'10". He's in the center there, but very mobile for his size.
Tyson comes off the screen. 3-pointer, back rim. Fleming, offensive rebound. Good, strong play by Isaac Fleming.
He's been assertive. I like to see how assertive he's been, just not afraid to get into the lane, penetrate, get into the teeth of the defense.
That's what ECU has to have. They're going to put up a lot of long shots. They're going to somehow get in there and get a few offensive rebounds.
They have players that have excellent body control and toughness, so they've got to continue to do what they do well, and that is penetration.
Fouls on Barkley. That's a second for him, and that's 7 now team fouls in this first half, so a 1-and-1 for the Owls. And Barkley has to watch it as well. Top rebounder, one of the best all-around players for ECU. 5:07 still to go in this first half as Flackby gets the bounce. You gotta like this guy's game too, and you talked about the hustle a few minutes ago and just kind of one of those X factors for this team.
A 65% field goal shooter. He's very efficient.
And we just got a technical foul that is called here. And Fleming. Fleming was the one that was called for the technical.
And he said something at the free throw line. Whatever it was.
A little bit too much chatter.
Yeah. Certainly don't need that at this point in the ball game, but it was something here. If you look at 0.
Yeah, talking to
the ref.
Pierre, well, I think in front
Louis.
of Pierre Louis. Yeah.
They won't take that.
So Fleming is called for the technical, and Josh Brown.
It should be free throws and then the ball back here. So a huge possession you lose.
Well, and there should be one more free throw for a Flackby,
right,
because it was a 1-on-1. He made the first one, and then they called the technical on Fleming. So it's going to be the 2 free throws here for Brown. We should be going back to a Flackby for another free throw.
You would think they'd let a Flackby just finish and then do the technical free throws, but not the case.
Yeah, so a Flackby here with the second one. Here we got the explanation.
Right, so there was the point of interruption, they call it, which is why they go back to a Flackby. He had made one, and he had one more left, so they just interrupted right where it was. And that's 4 points there. Now you're up 11 here.
Yeah, because you have to play on for, if he had missed it, it'd be ball in action. So anyhow, 13-4, the run right now for the Temple Owls on top by 11, tying their largest margin of this first half. Bad pass there. Pierre Louis off to the races. Whistle to foul.
How quick is he, though? And he's just poaching defensively, reading eyes and getting in passing lanes. And you look at this is just a tremendous job. That was because he was on the left side in help defense, and he just anticipates it, gets up in transition. Now I think he was a little out of control on that layup.
Yeah.
I would have made him make that because he was not going to make it.
KJ Davis with his second foul, and Nate Pierre Louis will get another. So the freshman class that's seen most of the action this year: J.P. Moorman, Nate Pierre Louis at the free throw line, and Devontre Perry, who got the start tonight. I mean, Coach Dunphy really likes this group.
Yeah, and they've got a huge upside, and some of the other freshmen will play more minutes, I think, next year. And Pierre Louis has turned it on in conference play. He's averaging 10.8 points a game in conference play, which is a lot better than even the non-conference. So he's been extremely effective.
He's got some blood on his hand there, so they're going to clean that up. Yeah, 18 points in that last game and a big win on the road in New Orleans at Tulane. How tough has the American been this season? Right? You've done a lot of games in this conference. I mean, there's the top half there with Cincinnati, the only remaining undefeated team. But I mean, it's such a log jam right now of teams fighting for position come tournament
Right.
time.
I mean, the middle of the pack is that big log jam. I think you've got some of the ones that have tapered off near the end. But the second half of the conference play is, I think, the most telling time, because that's when you really see teams separate themselves. And so far, we've got Cincinnati, Wichita State, Houston up top. And then on the bubble, Temple and SMU is currently out.
If Temple keeps doing this, if they keep stringing wins together, their strength of schedule is #2 in the nation.
And we
Their
know
RPI is sub 50.
the committee looks at that.
Yep. Yes.
Big time.
All the new metrics and everything these days, you still go back to, again, strength of schedule, RPI a little bit, although those quadrant 1 wins, that's the new thing now about teams.
The home win,
yep.
and the whole, it can be confusing.
It can be. Driving in, Moorman got hit, no call. Flackby the rebound, same deal, and here's Sean Williams the other way for ECU. Tyson for 3. Moorman the rebound, gets it to Rose on the outlet. Rose, offensive foul. Quentin Rose, his second for Temple. And we've got a timeout. 12-point lead for the Owls. 38-26 with 3:50
5 a.m. and we were getting after it. A lot of teams might work out. They'll go to the indoor. We were outside in the sleet and the snow having a blast.
I love it.
Coach, what are things like now with the early signing day in December and now here with this day today? You feel like you got to get some guys early, obviously.
Absolutely. We solidified our class. A lot of times, people wait until January and go cherry pick other schools. But we had such a strong class, got them signed in December, so nobody could come in late and try to take our guys.
Coach, what's your schedule looking like is in terms of just your non-conference schedule? Any opponents that you think you can get a win with, or what are your thoughts on the non-conference?
So the big thing, so we have a local game against Villanova to open the season. Then we have Buffalo, a good opponent. They've been up and coming for the last couple of years. And then we have two teams that are in the Power 5 conference, Boston College and Maryland, on the road. So we're excited about that. We got a lot of talent returning on those teams, and with a great recruiting class added to it.
Talking with Temple football head coach Jeff Collins here as ECU on the drive is B.J. Tyson, offensive foul, and a 9-point lead here for the Owls. Here's some of the signees of your class. Talk to us about what you're most excited about with these guys you signed.
Yeah, Trad's a 6'5" lefty out of Columbia, South Carolina. Ran a 4.5 laser at camp. Huge lefty, great quarterback. He was one of the first commits and kept the whole recruiting class together. Chris Banks is a kid that had been committed to Boston College. We got him to flip late. And Kyle Dobbins is right across the river in Camden, really good running back athlete.
What a perfect time to be in Philadelphia here now, too, right?
Absolutely.
Help me out with recruiting, right? You get come
You're
here
not
to
from
play at the
Philly,
lake.
right?
I'm from Atlanta, but the huge thing is...
You got a southern accent still. I hear it.
The NFL draft was at the Art Museum, last April. And then the Eagles winning, and we're having the celebration on Broad Street tomorrow, the parade. So it's just a great look. And when you look on Broad Street and they're showing the panorama, there's Temple flags everywhere because we live right on Broad Street.
Are you guys going? Are they all going to the parade?
I'm sure they will.
They got to go.
So they lift in the morning, then they have training table, and I'm sure a lot of the guys will be out on Broad Street celebrating.
One of the 2+ million, I'm sure, that'll be out there for that
football season. We let Eagles use our stadium, which I think is nice of us.
Right.
So good brotherly love with the pro team and the college team.
7-point lead for the Owls, trying to add to it. Missed three-pointer, and we've got a foul on Temple, and it's going the other way. We got a 1-and-1 coming up. So here it is, of course, the Eagles Super Bowl champs. How about Villanova? I mean, number one in the country, playing super well. And then Temple here, trying to win 4 in a row on the basketball side of things also.
Yeah, me and Coach Dunphy, he's a good friend of mine. Before or after every game, win or lose, he's always texting encouragement, and just really happy to see how well they've been playing as of late. And I didn't realize how long and athletic this group of guys is. Looks like some guys that we should try to get to be a crossover, be two sport players.
What have you seen with the culture at Temple since this is your first year here?
Right.
What are your thoughts so far on all sports and just how everything's conducted here?
Being an outsider, I've been in the SEC the last 6 years, and you always hear Temple tough, and you think it's just a slogan, but you get here and you're in North Philadelphia. The Temple tough is real. It matters to these kids. It matters to this community. And, our guys being out at 5 o'clock in the morning, sleet and snow, working out, they wouldn't have it any other way. And they're just a great group of kids to coach. All the sports are really close together. Our entire team is here, and actually they're at most sporting events, too.
Barkley makes it a 5-point ball game right now. 7-0 run here for ECU as we come up on a minute to go in this first half as we talk to Temple head coach of the football team, Jeff Collins, as a Flackby puts it in for the 2 to put them back up 7. How about the American Athletic Conference? We know how tough it is here on the basketball court. Certainly the same on the football side of things. We'll get your comment on that when we return. 30 seconds. We'll take a time. Back in Philadelphia at Temple, where the Owls lead by 7, 40-33 over ECU. Mike Corey, Julianne Vianney, and Temple football head coach Jeff Collins joining us here till the end of the half, and we broach the subject about the American and how tough the conference is.
Absolutely. Temple has had 2 back-to-back 10-win seasons, and then you look at the conference last year, We had lost 2 first-rounders, Deion Dawkins and Hassan Reddick. But then you have South Florida, you have Central Florida, you have Memphis have great seasons. And, it's really exciting brand of football. And, it's fun to be in this league. It's well-respected around the country.
And so much has changed since all the alignments just a few years ago.
And it's good bringing the ball, great athletes, and very competitive up and down the East Coast and even into Texas and Oklahoma. So I'm wearing my Power 6 to represent the conference.
Well, it was fun to call, no doubt. I mean, and it's very competitive. And you said, of course, UCF, the only undefeated team in all of college football, and what they did. Memphis had a great season. I mean, you guys are right there. So what's it going to take to kind of get over the hump there, to kind of get right in that conversation and battling for a conference championship?
And I think we're in there because we ran 4 out of 5 of the last games were wins, won the bowl game. We had a small senior class last year, the 117th least experienced roster in the country, and had a ton of injuries. But the sophomores and juniors and even freshmen had a great season for us and stepped up down the stretch.
What were your thoughts overall on a national perspective, since you have come from the SEC?
Right.
And I mean, that's a major league right there. But what are your thoughts overall and how this conference measures up?
Yeah, even as an outsider, throughout the years, watching how this conference has developed, even though it's a short-lived career, just the level of ball that's been played. How is it?
This is a different region, right?
Right. So we did a great job recruiting our basis, which is Philadelphia, which is South Jersey. Then we got 6 out of Jersey. We got 5 out of New York City. And then we're up and down the East Coast. We got 2 from Sweden. And we had 7 international players that came to us.
That's
20
great.
seconds remaining in this first half. Temple 41, ECU 33. Pirates can hold for the final shot. Adnan Verk, Dallin Cuff, and Tom Crean are standing by in the studio with a halftime report. As here's Fleming. Slashes his way in and gets the basket with 4 seconds remaining. Temple having a tough time getting it in, and that's going to be the end of the first half.
Right.
Ball knocked out of bounds off of Temple here to start the second half. So ECU down by just 6.
And of course, ECU doesn't want to jump out here and get into another big hole, Mike, like they did in the first half.
Well, here's Tyson working his way inside for the basket. They're within 4.
BJ Tyson is such a motor, so if he can really get rolling, the team will do a lot better getting some more offense from him.
Alston on the miss. Spasojevic on the rebound. And here is Williams. Off balance. Flat P as he goes to the deck. Rose squares up for 3. Big shot, Quinton Rose. Such a nice touch to his shot.
And Fran Dunphy has Devondre Perry and bigger guards covering Williams from 3. And you can tell he's having a hard time getting a shot off. And that time, it led to a bucket at the other end.
Barkley on the stutter step. Spasojevic gets the bounce. How about for Temple over the last 3 games, victories, trying to get 4 in a row here today? What's kind of made them go and kind of turn things up for them as of late?
I think it's been their defense. I mean, in the month of January, they've held 4 of their 8 opponents under 60 points. And then against Wichita State, to a season low in the second half with just 26 points to get that upset in overtime. So much for them starts on the defensive end, and then they get their offense rolling because of it.
Here's our top scorers tonight. Barkley with 12 and Brown with 11. Going right by the defender, and that was Fleming that time. He got right by Brown. All of a sudden here, it's a 3-point ball game.
And that's just a huge hiccup defensively and a wide open shot. No rotation on the help side either.
Now Alston for 3. Bounces around. A flat P got a hand on it and allows his teammate Brown to get it back, and then he missed. Tyson. Williams for the tie. Yes, and ECU is tied it at 44. Just 2 minutes into this second half. A race to 6-point halftime deficit.
That's the first open look Williams has gotten all day.
Coach Perry and the boys have battled back here, down as many as 12, Julianne, and they're on fire now as a tie game.
And what's interesting to me is East Carolina has done a much better job on the defensive side of the floor. At one point in the game, Temple scored on 8 consecutive possessions and just 2 field goals in the last 16 possessions. So ECU stepping it up intensity-wise on that end of the floor. And now we've got a tie game because of it. And we've seen ECU do this. Last week, I was doing the Tulane game, and they've done it game after game this year. Down at the half by 10 or more points, and then they come back. So you just can't sleep on these guys.
Nice job by Alston to get 2 back for Temple as they regain the lead after it was an 18-6 run by ECU after trailing by a dozen. Barkley for 3 and rebounded by Brown. Rose pulls up and hits. And Fran Dunphy likes that on the sideline. Trying to get his team more energized here now. Here's a 3 for ECU and trying to get it back in a hurry. Good offensive rebound pulled home by Barkley.
Barkley's so tough, and he even got fouled with that rebound.
Williams kicks it. Tyson. Fleming is wide open for 3, and it's short. But again, another offensive board.
These extra possessions are only going to help ECU, and they've battled on the boards this whole game. They've out-rebounded Temple.
Barkley losing the handle. It's a tie-up, and that's going to stay with ECU.
Elbows to call. ECU maintains possession.
They're certainly working hard. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's a team like when you're down double digits, you can go one of 2 ways, and they've went the way of coming back and fighting hard to get back in it.
This team plays for Mike Perry. I mean, they really do. They come to play, and they respect him, they trust him, and they do respond well to him.
Here's Fleming. 4 minutes gone by in this second half. Tyson with stutter step. Kick out a wide open 3 ball, and that one's good for Barkley. It's bound to happen one of these times. They've had a few wide open shots, and he knocked that one down.
It's the best way to get some extra points, extra possessions, and then the defense here just not good. How do you leave Quentin Rose, the best shooter on the floor, that wide open? First of all, the possession before that, he was just as open, so that's not good.
Got the 3-pointer right back. Barkley thought about it and will try it on the step back. He does it again. Kentrell Barkley. 2 big 3s for ECU. They're only down 1. Alston. Another nice pull-up by the junior from right here out of Philadelphia.
This Temple team's got a lot of really good mid-range jump shooters and some players that can step out and make it from the perimeter. A deeper team this year than they were last year, and they're a year older. More chemistry, Coach Dunphy said to us.
Spasievich inside, a little strong there, and rebounded by Brown. Brown, a flat P, the offensive rebound. Second try, no, and still fighting for it, and there's going to be a foul called, no, a jump ball. And it's going to be Temple possession. Coach Perry wanted it over the back for ECU. Instead, it'll be Owls ball.
I think in men's basketball right now.
Inbounds to Rose. One time they had him in the first half, slashing through the lane for the dunk. That time the little alley-oop touch. 55-50 Temple.
A little bit more scoring here to start the half.
Barkley checked by Mormon. He tried to go inside with it. Not there. Tyson. Shot clock down to 5. Tyson is fouled.
The thing Temple can do is switch everything. They've got such a versatile group of 5 out there that they are able to switch. I mean, look at this last alley-oop to Quentin Rose, and so soft, perfect touch by Josh Brown. Getting it up there to Rose. He shows his athletic ability, doesn't he?
Tyson's going to be able to look at the inbounder, though, that time. He's just fronting Rose, who's got that height advantage over him.
You're right. And that can be a problem. You're so focused sometimes on one aspect of it. He's certainly a tall guard. He's 6'8".
Fleming works his way inside. Kicks out to Tyson. NBA range 3. That's around the rim and out. Rebound Mormon. On the run, Brown takes it in and is fouled.
Josh Brown, one of the best finishers on the floor right now. When he gets to the rim, he's got terrific body control, and this is when Temple can be dangerous. When they're able to bust open games is when they're able to run the floor and get it up in transition. And Brown with the finish, another free throw opportunity. He's gotten to the line several times here in this one, and he's really efficient at the line.
Eight-point lead for the Owls. 13.5 to go, second half. Tyson falls down. A Flackby able to get it up quickly to Alston. Elliott Rose!
They're having a lot of fun right now. 9-0 run for Temple. Yeah, and ECU needs that timeout. Suddenly you look up and then it's a close game. It's tied, and now it's a 10-point game within seconds. The arc when the defense scrambles and you can't find your man. So ECU here has to regroup, defend, and rebound first and foremost to stop that transition offense.
Spasojevic. Oh, nice defense. Oh, nice play by Fleming behind his back to get inside, and it's going to be called for the traveling violation, though.
I do like Fleming's assertiveness, though. Sometimes he can be out of control when he gets to the rim, but he's always attacking, always in that mode.
Alston fighting Rose again. Heads up.
That two-man duo has been phenomenal. Just great chemistry.
Quentin Rose, some exciting plays here in this one for Temple, and he's been throwing it down. 20 points now for him as Barkley misses a three, and there's Rose for the rebound.
And Quentin Rose, if you look at him without the basketball, he's so good moving without the ball and recognizing the way his defense is covering him. When you're draped all over him, he's going to go backdoor on you, and he can also pass the ball.
Gets it inside. Mormon, who is fouled, almost had the basket.
Number 55, Sean Williams. That's his third.
And just a beautiful backdoor cut here by Quentin Rose. And you draw the defense. You draw that help defense. Austin Jr. is so good at doing that as a point guard. That's going to get you open. And what a game for Rose, especially here in the second half.
Oh, no doubt about it. He almost got the rebound there after the Mormon miss. It's a 12-0 run now by Temple, 63-50. This is their largest lead of the game now at 13 points. Williams looking for the screen. Tough jumper, but he got fouled, and he'll shoot free throws when we come back. 63-50. Temple on a tear now to lead by 13.
At least the majority of them, it will bode well for Temple when that's being decided, because we know that the committee is really serious about strength of schedule. So that will absolutely be a positive for them down the stretch if they can get some W's.
Just saw St. John's on there as well. We were talking during the timeout. How about St. John's? I mean, beat Duke. They're beating Villanova right now.
That
53.
would be crazy to me.
Yeah.
If they beat both those teams in the season, because they've lost a lot of games that they could have won. It's just a little bit erratic, but you can't sleep on them either.
No. 53-50 right now. St. John's leading Villanova with just over 8 minutes left. They're at the other end of Broad Street. We're on the north side. They're down the south at the Wells Fargo Center as they're renovating the pavilion during the season for Villanova. So playing all their games at the home of the Sixers.
My sister's a Villanova grad. I gotta say, I've always been a Villanova person in that regard. But St. John's battling right now. You gotta be happy about that.
Keep an eye on that game. Mormon gets the basket for Temple, and they're now up by 14. Kick out to the corner, a 3-ball. Counted for Sean Williams. Right back the other way, Pierre-Louis, and he is fouled, and it's going to be on Williams on the block. That's the 4th personal foul on Williams, still with 11:03 to play.
This is a nice job by Fleming off the dribble. Sean Williams didn't have a lot of room for that shot, but he's got such a quick release. And they've been all over him throughout this game. He's got 4 fouls. So defensively can be a liability on the floor. Temple's going to look to attack him. At least I would do that if I knew he had 4 fouls.
But here's the thing. ECU has been in this position before tonight, right? Down by 12 points. They made a comeback to tie this game. What do they have to do to try to get it back again?
Well, I think they've got to continue to keep this close, and I'd like to see them get a little bit of tempo on their offense. And when they're really good, it's when they're getting some turnovers. They're forcing turnovers, and I'd like to see them go back into that zone as well. Force some perimeter shots on Temple's end.
Nice play. Pierre-Louis knocked it away from Fleming, and Brown gets it up quickly, and it's Pierre-Louis kicking a Rose for 3. Got it!
First and foremost, they have got to stop transition D. I mean, they've got to stop the run. Temple is just easily running the floor.
Well, you said it, and that's what Michael Perry, head coach for ECU, told us. Got to stop the transition. And then Temple is able to break the game open with it, and I think they've just done that.
Yeah, I think that this game suddenly made a turn, and it's all because Temple's been able to run the basketball, and a beautiful job here by Pierre-Louis finding their star, Quentin Rose, in that corner. And Quentin Rose has had a heck of a half just offensively, shooting the ball terrific. He's efficient. He's doing it from all angles and aspects.
Rose leads all scorers tonight with 23 points for the Owls, and a 3-pointer here by Fleming.
And a much-needed bucket. East Carolina getting some opportunities offensively. Now they got to get a stop.
Hanging right there. Trying to anyway, down by a dozen. Pierre-Louis. And they got the stop, and Fleming's got it. Nice kick out, wide open. KJ Davis for 3. Couldn't get the bounce. Rose. Just kind of spun it right off that time.
That would have been a beautiful shot. It was a little Euro step.
Yeah. Good fake by Barkley to get it inside. And the 2 put in by Spasijevic.
And Spasijevic, that's right in his wheelhouse there, around the rim.
10-point ball game. Rose, though, for 3 again. That's way off, and Dmitry Spasijevic with a rebound. Oh, and a steal. Mormon. Right back down the lane, front end. And Pierre-Louis for 3. Mormon, no one boxed him out.
And turnovers are a problem, especially the unforced ones. I mean, you don't need to pass that ball up in transition where Fleming tried to do that. I mean, it's unnecessary, and then you give up an easy bucket.
Those are those plays right there, though, that didn't box out, not getting on outside shooters.
It shows a little weariness in the legs, if you ask me. Nobody hustling to that play.
Barkley sticking with it. ECU just doesn't have a deep bench. That's the other thing, too. They can't really go as much as Temple can in terms of what they have coming in from the sidelines.
And you start to see that in the second half of games. It's the stamina. They can hang for a while.
Good rebound here by Davis. Tyson. So B.J. Tyson has cut it down to an 8-point game with under 8 to go.
He's got such a nice rip drive, B.J. Tyson, when he can get to the rim in the open floor.
Julian, didn't take long. They had a 15-point lead. Temple did. It's been slashed almost in half here.
You get a couple stops, and then you're able to score, and suddenly you're back in it.
Nice feed inside. More from Mormon.
And that's where the backside, and Davis has to recognize that he's got to drop over, and there was a double team up top. No rotation. defensively.
Fleming got it knocked away. No call. Straight up, they say. And Mormon's pass deflected. Pierre-Louis kicks it. Brown for three. And a tie-up and a jump ball is called. ECU possession when we come back. 7:03 to play. Mormon.
Kentucky Wildcats leading the way. A little up and down this season, but they just don't have that absolute incredible #1 draft pick this year. That's the only problem for their team.
Well, and how about Kansas with all the home losses this season? It's hard enough to win in Allen Fieldhouse maybe once a season. I mean, they've lost a bunch now.
They have. I mean, and that's interesting because that's usually where you've got to take care of business is at home. And they've lost some that I'm sure they want back. But it's been fun to watch all of the power teams just battle and win games you thought they'd lose games you thought they'd win.
Tyson a long three. That doesn't go. And Brown tracks down the rebound for Temple. So much parity in college basketball. There's no doubt.
That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Especially as we approach March.
And it's been tracking this way over the last good 4 or 5 years at least. I mean, no more, even more so than this year. I mean, all the upsets we've seen.
It really has. I mean, even we mentioned it at the half. Even Wichita State, people were surprised. Since Wichita State entered the American Conference, their defensive statistics have gone down quite a bit. They were known for that powerhouse defense, but they were in the Missouri Valley Conference, so it changes a little bit. They've dropped a few games.
Rose for a flack P inside. Temple got blocked from behind by Davis, and it's recovered though by Mormon. And out to the top for Brown. Shot clock. Brown fires it up and in for three.
Brown is so smooth. I mean, he has got such a complete game and gets to the rim effortlessly, but that's why he's so good, is he can shoot from the perimeter. And Fleming just continuing to be aggressive here.
Fleming for ECU, 15 points. Leads them in scoring here tonight. Rose. Mormon is hounded, gets it over to Brown. He's open for three again. That's in and out. And rebound pulled home by B.J. Tyson. So under 5 minutes to go. It's an 11-point game. And a nice drive. Count the basket and the foul as Tyson scores it.
And that's one thing we haven't seen enough from ECU tonight. That we haven't seen them get to the rim nearly as much as Temple. And B.J. Tyson here finishes strong, draws the contact, and then he gets to the line here to manufacture another point. So a very aggressive move.
So this can cut it down to an 8-point ball game. 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. Tons of time. Each team with 2 timeouts left. It's going to come down to some defensive stops here, though. Let's see what ECU can do on this defensive possession.
And Temple not rushing into any shots. They're going to take their time.
Mormon on the up fake. Gets the left-handed shot for 2 and got fouled.
I'll tell you what, this JP Mormon has been impressive. And he was a little bit banged up early on in the season, but he is such an athlete. What a move this is. Great little up and under. Draws that shot fake. Now, he only saw action in 11 of their first 17 games and averaged just 5 minutes a game. And he's averaged 19 minutes a game since then. And he's been pulling down rebounds at 6.3 a game during this recent stretch.
Oh, great point. That's second on the team there with those numbers, and he's absolutely. Three-point try. Williams, no. And coming up on the 4-minute mark remaining, Temple has just continued to be able to keep ECU at bay here as Rose feeds for Mormon for 3. Rebound by Davis. Williams, nice stutter step right to the hole. Rose blocks it.
Quentin Rose just gets up. He has such a vertical.
And some really nice plays on both ends of the court tonight. 3.5 left. Rose pulls up. There's Aaron Jackson. He'll put up a long three, hit one earlier, and that's out of bounds to Temple, and we'll be back.
And Temple's just continue to see with ECU as at times they've petered out a little bit, but I've also seen them win some in overtime, so it's been close. I mean, I don't know if we mentioned Jabari Craig not playing, and then earlier in the year, Jeremy Shepard was supposed to be on the team, and he's not playing. He's academically ineligible, so they thought they'd have him too. So it's been, I think, a slimmer bench for them.
Flackby was fouled and is headed to the free throw line as Temple now leads by 14. It was a rough stretch for the Owls from December, the end of December to early January. They had lost 5 in a row, and we're kind of back and forth a little bit. Got a couple of wins in there, and now all of a sudden, after a loss to Cincinnati where they got blown out, have won 3 games in a row. This could be 4 in a row here tonight. Joe Lunardi has them on the bubble for the NCAA tournament.
And 4th in a row with 80+ points as well. So that's pretty good. And of course, that Wichita State game being the biggest game in conference play that they won, and that was at Wichita State, so that's even tougher.
Tons of quality wins for Temple, but they've got to keep it going here. Got to build up that resume. This could be win number 14 tonight if they get it. Leading by 12. Clock coming up on 2 minutes left. Alston gets free, gets the basket and a foul. Too many of those here late in the second half, and ones, and back to a 14-point game.
Temple's guards have gotten to the rim at ease, and Alston has been so quick off the bounce. Not only has Alston been tremendous in his passing, he's got several assists tonight, but he absorbs the contact well. A lot of these Temple players are very adept at absorbing that contact and finishing upon the foul.
Tying the largest lead of the night for Temple now, 84-69. Fleming, he'll take it in for 2.
And Fleming has continued to be assertive. I mean, that's something that is a positive from this game, is he has certainly looked for his shot and played fearlessly, but they don't have quite enough offense.
Alston dishes it to Flackby, and he is fouled.
No basket. Fouls on number 0, Isaac Fleming, that's his 4th. Team 8. At the line, number 24, Ernest Flackby, shooting 1 and 1.
All right, so let's show you where Temple resides right now in the American Athletic Conference. So you get this win here tonight, Julianne, if they hang on 6-6, and look how much it boosts them right up there to the number 5 spot.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
And so that middle of the pack is just slugging it out. Next couple weeks are important, Mike.
Next game up for Temple is at USF. 3-point miss here. Barkley, rebound Rose. We said it a few moments ago. Temple is in no hurry now with a 15-point lead. Just a minute and 22 to tick away. ECU is going to have a week in between their games when they head on down to New Orleans to take on Tulane. Week from tonight. Chance to regroup a little bit. Mormon for 3. Good luck as the shot clock expires. He trades it.
J.P. Mormon continuing to have a night. Doing it from everywhere.
Williams slashing through, high arcing runner. 11 points for Williams, make it 13 for Williams tonight. Got a traveling violation. And just 31.9 remaining, and we'll remind you that SportsCenter comes your way tonight, 1 a.m. Eastern. Stand and kneel. Tell you what chances the Cavs to make a move ahead of Thursday's 3 p.m. trade deadline. Plus, Harden and the Rockets go for their 6th straight win. Barry Melrose goes one-on-one with Vegas head coach Gerald Gallant, and SportsCenter comes your way after Spurs Suns on ESPN. Quentin Rose taken out tonight with 23 points. Another outstanding effort, his 7th game of the season with 20 plus.
Showing his versatility in all aspects, Mike. Such a high upside, especially defensively, as we know he can play offensively.
Crowd excited for Steve Leonard, who puts up a 3. It's no good. Rebound Pierre Louis. Back to Leonard. Elbow clutch runner, and it's going to be a blocking foul, and he'll head to the line.
And this crowd went crazy for Steve Leonard. Now he's a walk-on. Yep. Doesn't typically get a lot of minutes. Just shows, though, that they're determined to get him a bucket.
Steve Leonard.
Senior out of Collegeville, Pennsylvania.
Not afraid there to take it to the rack. I love it.
Looking for his first point of the season, and he got it. Just his 4th game of the year, and the fans love it here at Temple. Exclamation point. 10 seconds remaining. Fleming a step back 3. It's no good. Leonard the rebound, and Temple wins it. 90-73 the final here over ECU.